Okay, so the first thing we're going to try and do is create a strategy that's going to beat the market 3 times in 10 years. So we want something that's going to have returns of about 240% over the 10 years. Some of the parameters that we're looking at is that we want it to have quarterly rebalancing. So we're going to hit Control-Shift-F, which will bring us this window, and we're going to hit Rebalance Quarterly, which is this button. And then this tab will be here, and then you can leave this, or you could delete it. It doesn't matter because this is still going to be there. I like to delete it just so there isn't a lot of stuff. Then the next constraint is that we want this to be a strategy that you can trade easily. So we want to have volume that is greater than about 10,000. And then last thing we want to do is we want to change our dates. So we'll go over to the backtesting screen, just because that's where we're going to be paying most of our attention. And we see, of course, this comes up because we haven't really done anything. So the first thing we want to look at is we want something that has a lot of value. So we're looking for a value stock. So we want book value. And I'm going to pick the highest yearly just because I think, in my experience, it's worked better. And then we're going to do greater than 10 because I think that 10 is a good base number and it's a good place to start. You can go up or down from there. So I just use it as a standard number to put in regardless, since Equities Lab makes it so easy to use. You can just try a bunch of things. So we get returns of 101% roughly, which is good. So we're going to see if we can make that a little more robust by adding in some more screeners and then maybe manipulating the numbers. So next we're going to look at some kind of dividend. So we are going to use this screener, dividend for the past year, and we're going to make it greater than 10 again and run it and see what happens. And we are really low. And so we see that's because if you think about it, these are companies that are giving out, greater than 10, we're giving out a lot of dividends. So it makes sense that they wouldn't have a lot of growth or that they ran out of ideas. So we can change this to be less than 10 and run a back test again. And we see it again, doesn't really do much, but it actually lowers it, but we'll leave it there. And then the next one we're going to do is our price to book, where we're going to do 3 years. So this is going to be how overvalued or undervalued the stocks are. So if the price to book is really high, that means that people value it and they see potential room for growth and things like that. So we're going to do that equal or greater than 10. And we're going to run it. And so my way of just kind of plugging in numbers, seeing what happens. So we get higher, 142. This is good. We see some constant growth. The next thing to put over the edge is what kind of retained earnings do we have. So a combination of these things usually, denotes what is a successful stock, and we want the most successful stocks in here so that they can withstand things. Also, something that we didn't do that is totally going to skew our answers, we're going to have to change that to be back to 10 years. So 10 years, and then we'll run it again since we haven't been doing that. So these are going to be a little different, but they should follow that same trend, hopefully. Okay, wow, so we actually are set. We are at 287. That is perfect for where we would be, but there's still these points like right here that maybe we're going to have an issue of not being able to beat the market individually in these years. So just for precautionary measure, we're going to add in this earnings this earnings retained to book. And again, we're going to do that one greater than 10. And then run it to see if maybe we can get rid of this right here, because I think this is going to cause a little bit of problem. And okay, so we are now at 609%, which is great. So now we can go and individually check each of these years to see if we beat it each year. So we're going to go to 2004 to 2005. Do we beat it here? Yes. And just do this for each year. Okay, and so 2008 we have a little bit of a problem, but hopefully this is the only one. Not surprising that it would be like this. We're again beating the market. Oops. 2011. Okay, so we have another problem. So we can go here. We can go and look at the stock screener for then. And so we see this right here. So this is our only red. So something we could maybe do that would fix that. Or B, this has a market cap, if you could see it, of 78.6. So if we put something in and says we only want a market cap greater than 100, let's say, and then go back and check it. So we're getting rid of this red stock, and maybe that'll boost it up and hopefully not affect everything else too much, but we'll have to go back and check. Okay, so we are beating it again here, but we're going to have to go and check all the other years since we changed it a little bit. Let's start with 2004 to 2005. Okay, so we're off to a good start. This is one that we were, oh, wow, we're actually beating it this time now. So we'll see if 2008 to 9 is good. And we're not, but that's okay. And the final year, 2013 to 2014, and we are beating it again. So, and of course, since we did change it, we have to go back and make sure that we're still overall beating the market. Oh. And there it is, and we're at well, we've gone down a little, so now we're at 592, but that's still significantly over what our anticipated goal was. So this is just one strategy that you could use. There are plenty of other strategies I'm sure that you could find that would appeal more into your investing abilities. So this is just one way to use Equities Lab. Now I'm actually done.